Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Can somebody please confirm that you are able to see my screen, which is a slideshow?
Yes, Hare Krishna, we can see you.
Thank you. Prabhu. Thank you. Yeah, just a request to devotees because we have so many participants. If you're not speaking, please mute yourself. That way it will be easy. Thank you. Okay, I see it is almost time for us to start today's session. I'll just wait for Bhayahari Prabhuji also to be here, and then we'll get started. Hare Krishna, Andulekha Mataji. Hare Krishna, Bhayahari Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my hands close to Prabhupada.
Jai Shri Prabhupada. Okay, it's 7:01, Prabhuji, and we have 57 participants. So with your permission, can we get started, Prabhuji?
Sure, absolutely, Prabhu. Thank you.
Okay. And I confirm with devotees my screen, I'm sharing my screen and the PowerPoint is visible. So welcome everyone. We are starting our Bhakti Shastri 2024, and today is going to be the first session under the guidance of His Grace Bhayahari Prabhuji. So just from an agenda perspective, today we're going to be focusing primarily on brief introductions, the course overview, some of the logistics and guidelines. So today is just a commencement and welcome session. And we'll end with a Q&A in case any devotees have any questions to clarify. And before I pass on the mic to Bhayahari Prabhuji, I just wanted to provide a brief introduction for Prabhuji, even though many of us know him as he has been very instrumental in our spiritual life.
We cannot see the PPT if you're sharing.
Prabhu, the presentation is not visible. Right now, there is some notepad that is being shared.
Okay, let me reshare, Prabhuji. Sorry. Share and screen 2. Share.
Now it's visible, Prabhu.
Okay. Sorry about that. And give me just one more second. Trying to get a little organized here. Yeah. So I will give a brief introduction for Bhayahari Prabhuji. And many of us already know him, but some of us could be new. So Bhayahari Prabhuji is a senior disciple of His Holiness Romapada Swami Maharaj. Got his initiation in the year 2000. Prabhuji has been practicing Krishna consciousness since 1996. and he's a certified teacher by MIHE, Mayapur Institute of Higher Education, and he teaches Bhakti Shastri as well as Bhakti Vaibhav courses. This current batch is the 4th batch of students that Prabhuji is teaching Bhakti Shastri course. And Prabhuji and Indulekha Mataji have been holding weekly Namahatta gatherings at their home since 2006. Professionally, Prabhuji is a senior IT professional at World Bank, Washington, DC. So with that brief introduction, I wanted to hand it over to Bhayahari Prabhuji to help us with a course overview and enlighten us. Over to you, Bhayahari Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Thank you, Rupa Raghunath Prabhu, for the introduction. And I wanted to thank the devotees also for being a part of this journey together to read systematically Srila Prabhupada's books. So Bhakti Shastri was one of the very, very early courses that Srila Prabhupada recommended for his disciples to take, and it actually predates Prabhupada. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to also conduct Bhakti Shastri amongst his disciples. So the course objectives is the systematic study of the scriptures. And I would guess that almost all the participants in this course have studied the 4 books that form the basis of Bhakti Shastri, the Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instruction, and Isopanishad. Systematic study means that we kind of go a little bit deeper, verse by verse, understand the purports of Srila Prabhupada, and most importantly, understand the applications of the verses. So as we see that everything that is spoken everything is put there for a purpose. So by systematically studying it under the guidance of the previous acharyas, we are able to better understand the scriptures. We are able to better apply it in our lives. We are able to develop our relationship with Krishna and his devotees, because it gives us better knowledge of who we are, who Krishna is, who the Vaishnavas are. And also we develop an appreciation for Srila Prabhupada and his movement. So without appreciating the eminent position of Srila Prabhupada as not only a Sanskrit scholar, but also a self-realized a devotee of the Lord, it will be difficult for us to fully appreciate his writings and his books. So these are the general course objectives that we will strive to cultivate as we go through the course. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, so this is obviously something that is difficult for me to put on my conduct on my own. So I'm helped by my Indulekha is my good wife, and she does a lot of or almost the entire admin of the WhatsApp, the creating of the groups, the getting of the email. So many of you may have gotten messages from her for clarifications, etc. And essentially, we're looking for, I guess, 4 pieces of information: your name / initiated name, your cell phone numbers to make you a part of the WhatsApp group, because most of the information will be shared over there. Your email address, because some files, etc., will have to be shared over emails, and your location. This gives us a sense of the time difference. Kamalakeshwari Mataji will be helping in the exam grading. She's a graduate from the last batch of Bhakti Shastri, and she's kindly agreed to help in the grading of the exam. Rupa Raghunath Prabhu is our overall course admin, so the conducting of the sessions and the working with the various groups, the devotees, the recording of the session, etc. So a lot of logistics need to happen behind the scene. kind of make this easily accessible to the devotees. So I wanted to share my appreciation for all of them, and I hope that you would also. Thank you. Moving on. So what will the course look like? The course is divided in 5 units, and 3 units of them are devoted to the study of Bhagavad Gita, 6 chapters each. Unit 1 is chapter 1 to 6, 2 is 7 to 12, and 3 is 13 to 18. Now, obviously, the number of verses are different in this distribution. 1 to 6 is the longest, has the most number of verses, and 7 to 12 has the least number of verses. But to keep things simple, we divide it amongst the units. And there may be a slight difference in how long the units will take, but it's easy to teach. Also, because the Bhagavad Gita is logically divided in these 3 sections. Unit 4 is Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, and we will be doing the first 19 chapters of the book. So the book is fairly big; it has several chapters, but we will be only studying the first 19 chapters of it. And Unit 5 has 2 smaller books, the Nectar of Instructions, or Updeshamrita, and Sri Isupnishad. So both of them are small books with much lesser verses, much straightforward purports. So we will complete the 2 of them as a single unit. So that is essentially the 5 units that we will be doing as part of the Bhakti Shastri course. Okay. So this is how we will distribute it in terms of the lessons. Just want to give a little bit of a forewarning that this is very tentative. A lot of it depends on the discussions. Sometimes in a particular course, there are students that are more inquisitive about a particular chapter or an aspect, and we take more time. So we just want to make sure that we kind of follow the overall trend, but not be extremely limited by it. The idea is that the course gets completed in a year, 12 months. And obviously, you can see that these are 48 lessons, and a lesson a week is, we still have 6 weeks gap. So there's some amount of wriggle room. Sometimes I'm not able to give a class because I'm traveling, or sometimes the class gets canceled because there's a festival on that day. So we have given ourselves a little bit of a cushion. My last course, even though I had scheduled it for a year, it took a little bit longer. I think it took almost, I think it took maybe 2 months more. It took 14 months to do it. Target is 12 months, but we should end up somewhere around there. That's the goal. Okay, moving on. Okay, groups. So very, very important that the class is essentially conducted through the agency of groups. And the class will divide itself into 5 groups. So the students can form groups themselves based on maybe they're from the same, they know each other, or they go to the same temple. There are a few devotees who are not local to the US. Some are in the West Coast, so few in Dubai, few in India, few in Singapore. So because the groups will be working very close to one another, it probably helps for them to be in similar time zones. And if they know one another, that's better. Once the groups are formed, they will stay the same for the duration of the course. So you'll get to know your group members very well. Each group will have a group leader. The group leader has an important role of basically making sure that they coordinate with the rest of the group members. Now, as you can see that we have 66 participants now. In terms of the number of people who have signed up, it's a little bit more. I believe about 85 people have signed up. So the groups will be I'm guessing maybe anywhere from 15, 16, 17 people. So the group leader plays this role of making sure that the devotees get an equal opportunity to contribute. Everybody is involved. Everybody gets a chance to present. If there are any questions from the group, then they go to the group leader, and the group leader kind of either tries to answer it or coordinates with the course admin or with me to get the answer. So it's a way to kind of channel the activities. Otherwise, it's a little difficult for a large batch to manage itself. It's a volunteer position, obviously, and the same leader can stay for the entire course, or the person can rotate, giving other persons an opportunity to present. And in the past, what I've seen that the groups, they create their own WhatsApp group also, and that's where they coordinate their activities. So it seems to work well in the past. So it's basically a recommendation that the group leader can work with the group members, create a group, and there essentially that becomes the channel for communication. Okay, moving on. So course format. The way the course will run is that I'll be pre-recording the lectures for the chapters, and I'll be uploading them at this particular web. So they'll be uploaded into YouTube, and the links to the YouTube will be maintained at this particular website, bhayaharidas.com/Bhakti Shastri 2024. That way, Rup Raghunath Prabhu or me doesn't have to send you links for every lecture. The links will automatically get updated in this page. So essentially, all you need to do is to bookmark this page, and as the new lectures are coming up, you can basically see it. So thank you, Prabhu. So this is the page. It's a pretty straightforward kind of a page, and if you scroll down a little bit, so as I mentioned, there are 5 modules, and under each module there will be 2 sections, one for lectures and one for classes. The lectures will be my pre-recorded lectures, and the classes will be these. So these also will record and upload over there. So if for some reason somebody misses a class, they can go over here and click on it and listen to it. And these are all YouTube recordings. So just using technology to make things simple for the devotees. Okay. So timing of the class every Wednesday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern, which is our Washington, D.C. Time. If for some reason there's a cancellation, I'll make sure that you get sufficient heads up to know that the class is not happening. The way the course will proceed is that, so let's assume that next week we will be doing the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita. I've uploaded a lecture for the introduction to Bhagavad Gita at the website. So expectation is the student will listen to it, and also do whatever group activities are needed for that lecture. So the group activity for the introduction, I'll give you. In the actual live lecture, we will basically have Q&A. So while hearing the lecture, if there is any questions, any doubts, then you can note it, and this would be an opportunity to put it. So either I'll try and answer it, or the other devotees can answer it. And there'll be questions to the students by me. And this is just a way for me to make sure that you're listening to the lectures and participating in it. The questions essentially will be distributed to all the students. So sometimes we have in classes a few students answer all the questions, and the other students kind of stay in the background. But these questions will not be so they won't be volunteer answers. I'll be calling out by name the students, and just to make sure that everybody is listening to it. And the idea is that if you give them a certification in the course, then sufficient amount of effort should have also gone in to justify the certification. Okay. So group activities, very important part of the course, and this essentially is where the real work is done, which is why I was stressing a lot on the importance of the groups and the group leaders. So every week there will be activities assigned to the group, and they will vary from week to week. It could be a skit or a debate or a presentation. Essentially, what it will entail is listening to the lecture, reading Prabhupada's purports, and then digesting that information. So this is the more practical aspect of reading the books, which is why we say that this goes just beyond simply reading the books, but studying the book. So if you're basically asked to debate the position of an atomic soul as opposed to a impersonal soul, then it would help you to not only just know the verses, but also understand the purport and present a debate on that. It's also a very fun activity. In the past, I've seen the students really enjoy it. They learn a lot through it. The groups end up being fairly close-knit to one another. For instance, my previous Bhakti Shastri, it ended, I'm guessing, about maybe 6 months ago. But I see that, those groups are still active with one another, and I guess they formed a strong relationship. So they're still exchanging information, sharing realizations. So, it's basically foundational from the perspective of making devotee relationship. And like I said, the activity will be based on the material for that week. So the activity will be based on two things: the lecture and the lecture and the material that is there in Prabhupada's books, right? So it won't be like anything that is free format. You'll definitely have the material that you will need to perform the group activity. Okay, moving on. So this is a certification, and so I'm aware that some of the devotees who have joined the course have not joined it for certification. So they are either those who have already received the Bhakti Shastri in the past, and they want to be a part of it again as a refresher, or basically, as another way to associate with the devotees. So they will obviously not be giving the exam. Or they don't need to give the exam, but there are those who are also joining it for the purpose of the certification. For them, they will need to take an exam. So, like I mentioned, there are 5 modules. After each module, there will be an exam. The exams are closed book, so you cannot consult the book, and they're self-invigilated on an honor system. So essentially, Rupa Raghunath Prabhu will be sending you the question paper by email, and you fix a time, you do the exam on your own, and you send him the answer. So it's basically on a self-honor system. So the exam can be taken any day, any time from the first day of the module till a month after the module closes, right? So for instance, module 1 starts today on April 17th, and let's assume that it closes on June 30th. So you can take an exam pretty much from April 17th or all the way till July 30th. And the reason this flexibility is there, because a couple of reasons. So at the beginning of the course, Rupa Raghunath Prabhu will be sharing with you the question bank that is used to prepare for the exam. And there are many devotees who are very good at preparing for exam, especially the groups kind of come together. So let's assume chapter 1 question bank has 30 questions. So there's a group of 10. You divide it amongst the 10. Each one of them answers 3 questions. You compile it. You have a question bank for module 1 in group 1. And then, of course, you just need to prepare for the answer. And whenever you're ready, you can take the exam. The other track, which is they're listening to the lectures, they're performing the group activities. that goes on in parallel. The taking of the exam is not necessarily predicated on the completion of the module. Some of you may want to wait for the module to be completed. So in that case, just be aware that from the date the module finishes, you have 1 month to take the exam. Outside that month, you will not be allowed to take the exam, and which essentially means that at least because you need to be successfully to have successfully written the exam for every module. If you miss the exam for a module, essentially it means that at least this Bhakti Shastri will not be certified. It doesn't mean that you won't be certified. You can join the next round of Bhakti Shastri with me, and let's assume you miss one module. So you can take that module in the next round of Bhakti Shastri and get the certification. But you do need all the 5 courses to be certified. And with respect to the exams, it is I try to be. I know almost all of us are working. We have families and jobs and devotional life. Things get hectic. But I tend to be a little strict in terms of the dates, because it becomes an administrative nightmare otherwise. That people are giving exams whenever they want, and module 2 is started, and module 3 is started, module 1 exam is coming in. So it's not fair for the devotees who are grading you, also not fair to you also, because then there's a lot of pressure that gets built on in clearing multiple exams at the same time. So plan it like this. So I request you not to basically ask me saying they can have an extension, have extenuating circumstances. So heads up, like you're aware that you have the duration of the entire module plus a month to write the exam. Okay, next. So like I mentioned, the exam will be from a bank of questions. These question banks will be shared at you. The groups can collaborate, create an answer bank, and help each other. The students must score at least 65% in each exam to be considered successful. The format of the question paper is that it has short answer questions, a few essays. So essays in this, short answers is 1 to 2 line. Essays a little bit of is being a little bit liberal. It means maybe a paragraph, 6 to 7 lines. And verses. So again, the verses will be given to you. The verses for the entire course, I believe there are 25 verses. The list of verses for the entire course will be sent to you right up front, so you can memorize them at your leisure. And the exams are to write both the Sanskrit and the English, and it doesn't have to be word to word, but as close as possible. And then on a random basis, the students may have an oral exam after the written exam. So obviously we can't do orals for all the students, but over the course, the idea is that every student will have at least 1 or more oral. And that just gives me an opportunity to evaluate the student on a face-to-face basis. I also wanted to share that, so like I said, that I've done 3 courses in the past. I've never had a single case of a student not able to succeed in the exams, not one. I think so far maybe a little over 100 devotees have been certified through the courses that I run, and the failure rate is 0%. Now, I had some students who dropped out because of different circumstances, which is different, but I never had a case where a student attempted the exam and did not succeed. The questions are not very hard, as you will see, and especially if you follow this methodology of creating an answer back collaboratively, it represents a fairly easy bar to cross and get the certification, which is why both these things are important. The exams give us a little bit of formality in terms of preparing for the material, and listening to the lectures and doing the group activity, it gives us a deeper realization. So it's something that we can share with others and bring to our own personal practices. So in order to get certified, so the exams have an 80% weightage. And like I said, the passing is 65. So weightage means that if, let's assume the course has, at the end of the day, the course has 100 points. So 80 points are for exams and 20 is for for participation and attendance. And the reason, again, because I say is that the group activities are probably the more important aspect of the course. So I expect the students to attend at least half the classes in person. And these will be recorded. So the ones that you can't attend, you can attend offline. Now, it doesn't mean that you actively skip half the classes. So this is this is the lower threshold. Really speaking, if you want to get the best out of the course, participate fully in the group activities, group preparation, and the Q&As, and that's where you'll get the real benefit. So all modules will need to be completed to get certification, all the 5 modules. I mentioned that for some reason, if you miss the exam of a module, you will not get certified, but you can get certified in the next iteration of the course. Also, I want to share that I will not be accepting transfer in grades from prior courses. So I know in the past, devotees have said, we started a Bhakti Shastri course with XYZ. So there are different instructors running courses. I did 2 modules. Can I do the remaining 3 modules? And the reason I don't take transfer in is because at this point, there is no, I don't have real visibility on what was being taught there. So difficult for me to kind of put my reputation behind recommending you for the certification. So I will not accept transference, but I do accept transference from my own courses. Like I said, that if you miss a module, you can transfer from the next course. The certificates are electronically included by the ISKCON Board of Education. So these are formal certifications for Bhakti Shastri. As of now, I know there are several gurus who do require the certification to get your Brahman initiation. So this is something that you can submit for that. And of course, this is also a tangible asset in terms of, yes, I did this, makes one feel that at least one threshold has been reached. Okay, moving on. So like I mentioned, there are also participants who are joining the course in audit mode. They're not working to the certification, and they're not subject to the stipulation that I mentioned in terms of attendance, participation, etc. They can be part of the groups if they're committed to regular attendance. So, and the reason is that the group dynamics is very important. So if somebody knows ahead of time that they will be attending sporadically, then I would recommend them not to be a part of a group. So they can still come to the session and participate in any way, ask questions, etc., listen to the lectures. But essentially, they would be doing a disservice to the group, because if they themselves are not regular and the group leader is expecting the group to work together to deliver something, then it would be unfair to that group. So again, this is all on a personal honor system. If you feel that you're auditing, but you're planning to attend the course regularly, by all means, be a part of the group, participate in the group activities. If not, then I would recommend not to join the groups, but attend more as, just in terms of attending the sessions. Okay. So course etiquette, camera needs to be on to foster a mood of participation. I see that almost all of you, or maybe my display is messed up. Maybe that it is, but camera being off also gives a sense that maybe there's multitasking going on, and it kind of generally generates a mood of implicit distraction. So I would request all of you that unless there are extenuating circumstances, keep your camera on and participate. In terms of discussions, we have a limited time. It's 1 hour only. So be sensitive. If you have to ask a question, think of the question before you ask it, so that you're to the point. And because everybody else will be waiting on you while you're asking the question, or you're sharing your realizations. In all times, in all situations, be sensitive to time. Always raise your hand before speaking, and wait to be called upon. Otherwise, it becomes difficult to have many people speaking. and keep the mic off when not speaking, just to prevent background noise, crosstalk. Be punctual. So I'll be starting from my end. I'll be starting punctually at 8 p.m. on Wednesday Eastern time. I will be ending punctually at 9 p.m. More or less. So a little bit of an oxymoron there. Sometimes there's a discussion going on and I don't want to cut it, so I may go a little bit over, maybe 5 minutes or so. But I try to plan it because I know that people have activities scheduled after that also. So I try to plan to end punctually at 9 p.m. So I would expect you also to be punctual, both in terms of getting on and getting off. And do not multitask. It goes back to the first point, that keep the camera on. Everybody knows that you're present, not just as a name, but as a person. And it fosters an environment of collective learning. So, and at the end of the day, the course is for your benefit. So the more single-minded you are in terms of attending it, the more you'll get out of it. Okay. So course fees, so I just wanted to share this verse from Bhagavad Gita. So Vidihinam astrastanam mantrahinam adakshanam shraddha virahitam yagyam tamasam parichakshate. So in the 17th chapter, Krishna talks about what is considered to be a sacrifice in the mode of goodness, right? So he says any sacrifice performed without the regard for the direction of the scripture, without distribution of prasadam, without chanting of Vedic mantras, hymns, and enumeration to the priest, and without faith is considered to be in the mode of ignorance. So prasadam, unfortunately, we cannot do over here, but we do want to basically tick the other boxes. So we will be following the Bhagavad Gita and Sri Prabhupada's explanation scrupulously. Each Bhagavad Gita shlok is a Vedic hymn. Faith obviously is an implicit prerequisite, that if you're making time, all of you have busy schedules, many things you could be doing this evening. But the fact that you're making time means that there is some faith in what you will be hearing and reading. And dakshina, remuneration to the priest, this is an essential requirement. So in that mood, I am asking you to give me a donation of $1 for the course. And the donation is due at the end of the course. So for those devotees who successfully stay till the end of the course, at that time, I'll be asking for the donation. And Ruparanath Prabhu, maybe you can forward. There are 2 more bullets on this. And so to be paid at the conclusion of the course. And so this also includes the certificate issuance fee. So like I said, that the ISKCON Board of Education, they will be generating the certificates electronically, and they charge, I believe, so this is there based in India, I believe they charge 50 rupees per certificate. So whatever part of the dollar, 40 cents, 50 cents goes to them, rest I keep as my dakshina. And I do it in a mode that it essentially also complies with the instructions of Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, moving on. So we now come to the most important thing, that the purpose of the course is to have lots of fun. So the journey we are about to embark is imbued with many aspects, a lot of learning, a lot of realizations, appreciation, but it's also an opportunity for us to develop lasting relationships, also an opportunity for us to look at the lighter side of spirituality. Sometimes people think of spirituality as something that is humdrum, that it requires a lot of seriousness and gravity, and actually that is not so. And anybody who's been to ISKCON temple can attest to the fact that it's a lot of dancing and singing and feasting. And the study of the scriptures is, of course, a little bit more on the academic side, but the same mood needs to be there also. So we will try to create this environment of learning and enjoyment, the whole concept of edutainment, that is educational but also entertainment. So this, I believe, is this last slide, and I will pause over here. And any questions so far in terms of anything that I presented or anything that I have not and you would like clarification on?
Hare Krishna, Bhayahari Prabhu and devotees, Dandat Pranam. This is Tarun.
Okay, so my ask again is that please raise your hands before asking a question. That will just help regulate the flow. But since you have the mic, Gopinath Prabhu, please go ahead.
No, I think it was Tarun Prabhu. He said Tarun.
Okay.
Tarun Sharma, is that you, Prabhu?
I
Right.
forgot about.
Okay, so there is actually a reactions. When you tap on the screen, you'll see reactions, and when you tap on that, you'll see a raised hand. That means you can raise your hand then.
Okay.
That helps then. Yeah. Thank you.
I think Tarun Prabhuji, go ahead. I think you were the first one to speak, so go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. So it is me and Preeti, my wife. We both are attending the class, and we definitely want to also get the certification. We are actually out for about 6 weeks in summer. We're going to India, so just wanted to see how we can make sure we get the certification and we can complete the course if you're not able to attend the classes sometimes during that period.
As long as you're able to listen to the recordings, and both for the lectures and the sessions, and if you're able to maintain the 50% attendance overall, you should be okay, Tarun Prabhu.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Balaka Mataji, I think you were next. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, everybody. Dandavat Pranam. Bhayahari Prabhu, I have a question. For the exam, we are supposed to finish within that duration. So, and is it just one try? So let's say if we do not pass in for that module in that particular exam, do we get another chance? I mean, I don't know how you grade it. Do you grade it after the module is complete or whenever we turn out our answers in?
There's no limit to the number of attempts that you can make. And the exams are graded in a reasonable amount of time, depending on how busy the devotee is. It will be graded, not right away, but in a reasonable amount of time. And if for some reason, that the 65% is not reached, you'll definitely get another chance.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Atasi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Dandavat Pranam. My question is, I have another meeting just prior to this. So sometimes if I'll be slightly late, is it acceptable? And another question is, I'm joining using my iPhone. So I don't know what is the setting for the camera. So for some reason, I'm not able to put my camera on. So is it okay if it's not on? Thank you.
Okay, so you said the reason you can't put your camera on because you're on another meeting at the same time?
No, I said that I have another Zoom meeting prior to this Zoom meeting. So if I will be, sometimes that meeting gets slightly late. So if it's slightly late, like 5-10 minutes late, and I join little bit later, then because you mentioned that you expect everyone to be on time, like 8 to 9 or slightly late. So in that scenario, is it okay for me to join at 8 like that instead of 8 o'clock? I mean, I don't know exactly how late I'll be. Sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes maybe 2 minutes, sometimes maybe 7-8 minutes. It depends every day.
It should be okay. And again, this is something that you'll have to work out with your group leader because everybody gets a chance to do a presentation. So if you're late and, then they'll make sure that either your presentation comes later on in the day and later on in the course or something like that. But I would say 5-10 minutes is okay. It should not be a problem.
All right, wonderful. And then the second part of the question is,
Yeah, Atisi Mataji, for the second question, maybe I can have a discussion with you offline and I can help you. I'm sure iPhone.
Wonderful. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was expecting that. Thank you so much.
I'll work with you.
Thank you. Haribo.
Yeah. Shri Padma Manjri, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Bhayahari Prabhu, Mataji, devotees, our Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. My question is, are we expected to join the group today? And like my daughter and I are doing the course and we're in Chicago. Do we send WhatsApp group, hey, we're group A or group B, two of us is join, who else wants to join? Should we do like that? Because I think like joining a group from start, it's a good, today we can do that. Should we do that way? Thank you.
Hi Krishna, yeah, I think it's a good idea to start the creation of the group because a week from now, each group has a presentation to make. Like I said, generally speaking, the groups will be created on some synergies. If you see other devotees that you recognize here or from from the Chicago area, then maybe it's a good idea to reach out to them and make the group. If for some reason you're not able to join a group, then so the first iteration is that the groups are formed by the students themselves, and those who are not able to form a group, they'll write to Rup Raghunath Prabhu and he'll distribute them in groups, because then you don't really have a preference. So he'll distribute them in groups depending on which groups, what sizes have been created. Okay, and I see there's a question from Manishka Mataji that I have a question regarding group forming. If you form the groups ourselves, then how we will select group leader. So it's a combination of selection and volunteering. So sometimes there is one devotee who volunteers to be the group leader, and and the other devotees are okay with it. They give the person a try. And like I said, even though the groups remain the same, the group leaders can change with whatever frequency that is needed. Hopefully not within a module, but maybe if there is some reason for it to change. It's a bit of an extra service. The person who takes on the group leader role, it's an extra service because they have to kind of reach out, coordinate with the group, make sure that everybody is working together to do the part. So it depends on the devotees in that group. I've seen in the past that they will either do a round robin. They'll say, okay, I'll be the group leader for this module, you'll be a group leader for other module, or they will just unanimously select somebody's a senior devotee in the group, they'll select it. Is that okay, Vanshika Mataji? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I just want to add one thing, Prabhuji. So
yeah,
like you said, if some devotee is not able to find a group for themselves, they can reach out to me one-on-one, and that way I'll compile a list of all those devotees, and then we'll make a group of from those devotees. So I see some messages devotees are putting in the chat also directly to me. So I think WhatsApp is the best way for communication. I'm just a message away. So put a WhatsApp message one-on-one to me and I'll compile that list and we'll create the groups among ourselves. Okay, we can go to the next devotee. Krishna Kumari Mataji, you have a question?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. I just wanted to confirm that where exactly we go for listening to the pre-recordings, because I'm not very tech savvy, and I want to make sure that I, listen and sort of do it properly before I attend the class. So I just want to know how to do that.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Mataji. So this is the website if you're looking at the screen. And after this meeting, I'll also share this presentation, which will have the link captured. So you just have to go to this website, and in this website, you will see some lectures being uploaded. So these are the pre-recorded lectures from Prabhuji that you can listen to. And all these classes that we are having are also going to be recorded, which will be uploaded over here as well, the links for them. So you can go to website and then just.
So I just go to the website on the browser, right?
Yes, yes.
Because you said something, Prabhuji said something about YouTube, so I was not very certain.
Yeah, so if you click on this link, Mataji, this is actually a link to the YouTube class. So it will take you to the YouTube, actually.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And this you will send to us, right? This link you will send to us.
I will send the link, and if you face any issues, you can reach out to me. I'll help you out.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. We have Sushma Mataji next.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, and dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, I wanted to ask that, as you said that there will be 5 exams, one for each module, and in the presentation you also mentioned that there will be 5 units. So is the unit same as a module? Is that the right understanding?
Yeah, they're the same. My apologies. I've been using the term interchangeably, but essentially they mean the same, unit and module.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Sure.
Okay. Chaitanya Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada. I think I found a way to answer my own question. I was just wondering because everybody is new. So if you are okay, I'm going to use the WhatsApp group that we have created to call out all the people who are in Eastern time zone, and then we all can form a group. Similarly, the Midwest and similarly the Pacific time. If you are okay, I'll message in the WhatsApp group saying that all these two just personal message me and I'll create a group with them if you're okay with that. Did I make sense or did I confuse? I'm just going to use the Bhakti Shastri WhatsApp group.
Right. No, I think
messaging everyone in the Eastern time zone to form a group on our own.
Yeah. I think your question is clear, Prabhuji. The only thing in my mind is I'm thinking out loud. Should we bombard the common WhatsApp group?
No, I'm going to ask them to personal message me.
Yes.
So that I can form a group. Okay. I'm not going to bombard the Bhakti Shastri WhatsApp group. I'm going to clearly mention, please personal message me so that I can form the group and then create a group and add the members there.
Perfect, perfect. I think we found our first group leader. So yeah, Prabhuji, you can poll the people.
I'm not going to be the leader. I'm just going to create the group and let somebody lead it.
Sure, sure.
Thank you, Prabhu.
That's a good idea. Okay, I don't see any more hands raised, but
okay, so just so I put in the chat the 5 the assignments for the next week. So so these will be based on the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita, right? Before the first chapter. Oh, thank you, Prabhu. So before the first chapter, there is the intro. There's a preface and the intro. The intro is basically where Prabhupada writes extensively about the context of accepting Bhagavad Gita. So the assignment for the group would be to read the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita, to listen to the lecture on the Bhagavad Gita introduction, and then each of the 5 groups. So these are the assignment, group 1. So you're basically trying to distribute a Gita. You're trying to give somebody a Bhagavad Gita. And the person says, for group 1, I'm from India, I already know the Gita. What would you say to the person? group 2, the person would say that I do not believe in organized religion, so I don't want to read anything. Religion is between me and God, so I don't want anything else in between. Group 3, the person says, I'm not a Hindu. Why should I read a Hindu book? Group 4, the person says, I'm an atheist. I do not believe in God. And group 5, the person says, I'm okay. I have other versions of the Bhagavad Gita. I don't really need this particular Gita. So each of these questions have been answered in the introduction by Prabhupada, and you would just have to kind of read it. The idea is that the group will divide itself. I mean, essentially, the group divides itself into 2 parts. One part is convincing the other part to take the Gita, right? So one part says that one part of the group, or it could be 2 individuals. The different groups can play it out different way, right? So it could be 2 individuals, one person trying to give the Bhagavad Gita to the other person says, oh, I'm from India, I know Gita, and the other person says, but, and then that discussion happens. So each group has 5 minutes, and I think it'll be a good idea to stay to treat the time limits conservatively, because like I mentioned, with the 2 Q&As and the group exercises, we're almost like at the brim with the 60 minutes. So make sure that you honor the 5-minute time limit. That gives us about 25 minutes, and with some interchange, 30 minutes for this. And the remaining 30 minutes is essentially for the Q&As there. So any questions on the group exercise?
May I ask one?
Please.
Hare Krishna, do we have to create any presentation, or is it just a verbal convincing?
Not for this one, because this is, think of it like a skit.
Okay.
So not for this one.
Yeah, Prabhuji, last 4 minutes, and there's a question on the chat from Hetal Mataji. I think that's a good question. If you can, please answer that.
Also, there's a raised hand by Jonathan and Sandhya. They have a question.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Go ahead, Sandhya.
Okay. Hi. Yeah. So, just a little confused about the group exercise. This is, we don't know which group we're in right now, right? So I guess we'll figure out. Somebody will let us know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And at that point, based on which group we're in, then we address the pro or con side of the statement. Like we're debating depending on which side, one of the sides of the statement there, right?
Absolutely. You got it.
Okay. All right. Very good. Thanks.
Right. And like I said, that before doing it, if one can read the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita and listen to the lecture, then you have a clear perspective of how to address it. Because obviously these are open-ended questions, you can address them in a million ways. But the idea is that they're addressed based on what we are learning from the Bhagavad Gita and in the lecture. So good idea to read both of them, listen to the lecture, and that would help you kind of hone your response, whether you're pro or con, either way. You're on mute, Sandhya.
So reading both what? The Gita and what else?
So reading the intro to the Gita and listening to the lecture.
Intro and right.
Yeah.
The intro and the preface, is that what you said?
And listening to the lecture. So there's a companion lecture that goes along.
Oh, yeah. Right? Okay, yeah. Thank you.
So okay, thanks. And
Chaitanya Rastaji, do you have another question?
Okay.
No, I just wanted to let people know, because we don't know what group numbers we are. I'm just randomly taking group 4 as Eastern, if it's okay.
Sure.
Last 2 minutes, but we have a hand raised for Manjari. But go ahead, Prabhuji, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Just wondering, so when we present this to like next week, do you want like everyone to have to speak, or should we like nominate like one spokesperson for this?
Yeah, it's a combination, Manju. Sometimes in the groups will nominate a person. So there'll be, like in this particular case, it's possible that the group might nominate two people. One person will take the pro and the one person will take the con. But they will be speaking essentially based on the group activity. So as a group, they'll discuss and they'll speak. Sometimes the groups will actually divide themselves into two. So, you know, one point will be made by one member, another point will be made by another member. So there's a fair amount of latitude in terms of how the groups choose to present the topic, as long as it's presented within the time frame and obviously in a cogent manner. Having a lot of presenters sometimes impinges on the time, because you have 5 minutes and every time you change a presenter, there's some amount of delay there. So just some of the factors to consider. Most important fact, of course, is that the group comes in together to prepare for the presentation. Whether 2 people do it or 4 people do it or the entire group does it, you know, that's kind of a logistic detail. Okay, so I think we're almost out of time. We'll end over here. Once again, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to be with you on this wonderful journey, and I look forward to a educational, entertaining, spiritually enlightening year with all of you. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Anand Kuri Vaishnavinda ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Jai Gaur Premanand. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
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 Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.